All right. To help us uncover the world of specs, we have my two favorite Brians with us today from Starline. Brian Porter, the CRO, and Brian DeBottis, our VP of Strategic Accounts. Hi, guys.
Good morning.
Wendy, how are you? It's so good to see you.
Good to see you guys too. So, you know what? When they came to me about spec samples, I thought, who knows it best? And I thought of you guys right away. So
Brian and I saying that 1,000 times in a row finally has sunk in. I love it. Thank you.
You know, I missed the, what was it? The PB show during COVID, but I got you now. So.
Anything that happened during COVID, you cannot go back and review. Okay. That was like a different time for all of us. The world was ending. All right. So.
Exactly. All right. So let's jump into it. The biggest question, what is a spec sample?
What is a spec sample? So you're out, you're doing your thing, you're dealing with clients, you've already proposed products, you've got, you know what they want. The spec sample is really the buy-in, right? That's when you take whatever product you're working with and you put their logo on it and you present it to them, right? My kids ask all the time, like, what's a spec? I hear you say that all the time. And I'm like, it's kind of like if you look at a puppy online, it's cute. But if you go and you touch and you feel that puppy and you pick that puppy up, most of the time you're buying that puppy, right? And to me, that's the spec sample is the ultimate kind of closer, right? Like it's in your hands, you touch, you feel, you see the quality. So it's that next level of the sale for us.
I agree 100%, especially on the puppy thing, right?
So you just can't go look at puppies. You have to buy them.
Yeah. No, the moment you go, you're bringing them home.
I'm not going to look at puppies. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. So you guys have a Spec 12 in the US and Spec 15 in Canada. How did that program come to fruition?
Yeah, that's a good question. So at that point in time, we were looking at ways to engage beyond just, reaction, right? Ways to put the product in people's hands as more of a proactive kind of planting seeds, thinking ahead, thinking of people's clients. And also we wanted to tie that into some new technology that we had built around building visual and not just virtuals individually, but virtual catalogs, right? So we sat down, we looked at kind of where we wanted to start, and we launched this really in the fall of 2019 with drinkware, right? And so the concept was simple. For the $12 or the $15, the rep would be able to get a drinkware piece logoed with, their name on it, the buyer's name on it, the variable data, that kind of thing. It included shipping. And then we also wanted to tie in that next level follow-up. And so within 3 to 4 days, our internal team would build out one of our digital catalogs and send that out. So for us, it wasn't just a one-time touch. It was the initial touch, and then it was personalized. And then a week later, they got a catalog built specifically around their category, right? So whether it was, manufacturing, agriculture, whatever that should be. And then our external team, our sales reps, would also follow up. So it was just this great way to keep that continual drip going, I guess you could say. So
no, that's awesome. And you know what? How do sales reps really benefit from the program?
So I'll take that one. There's a lot of benefits to this program, and it's about that drip and staying visible with the clients and keeping the pipeline stacked up. And I think that when sales are good and times are good and it's all coming in, it's really easy to forget to do all that proactive stuff, to reach out and get in front of people. And the Spec 12 program is a fantastic tool to stay top of mind because, like Brian alluded to, and we'll talk about in a minute, it'll give you so many different touch points over the course of the month to reach out to the clients. You want to be seen as a resource, you want to be seen as useful, and most importantly, you want to be seen.
Exactly. So can you guys walk us through the process? How can someone as a sales rep really get started?
Yep. So that's the easy part, right? If you're in the US, it's $12. If you are in Canada, it's $15. So $15, $12 in a PO gets you started. You pick a drinkware piece. And like Brian said, we logo it, we personalize it, we ship it out, and then that follow-up routine starts, that drip starts. But One of the most important parts here, and the part that I don't want anybody that's watching this to forget, is you need to personalize the spec sample. So if you personalize the spec sample, that spec sample stays with the person that you intended to give it to, right? The buyer, the person that you wanted to touch and feel that thing, not give it to their mother, their brother, their sister, a coworker. It stays in their hands. They realize the quality and they think about you as their solutions provider. So please do not sleep on personalization.
Yeah, I agree 100%. If I get something that has my name on it, I'm going to hold on to it and I'm going to use that. So I think personalization is a decoration method that's not used enough. And I feel like, especially when you look at the longevity of a promo piece, right? If you get something with your name on it, that's not going to the wayside. That's going to stay with you because it's got your name on it. It means something, right? It's personal to you. So let's talk about the success of the program. Like, what kind of feedback are you guys getting?
Sure. So, it started with drinkware, right? And it came out of the gates pretty strong. And then, of course, we hit 2020. And it was actually just serendipitous. It was the perfect timing because people couldn't be out seeing clients, right? Everyone was trapped in their homes and stuff, but they were still doing a lot of these and they wanted to stay in touch. So a lot of seeds were planted during that year. And then we've seen over the years, we brought on Uniball and we dropped that in 2021. Last year, we brought on Coolers, which was a tremendous success. And we have seen just that grow year over year. And probably our average ROI is about a 40 to 45% return rate, honestly. Not equally across all categories, but now it's something that we hear it all the time. When are you bringing the program back? When is it going to start? How many can I get? What new products are you going to bring out, right? It's become such a part of their sales process that, I know Brian all the time and our reps out in the field, they're constantly getting, can I have a few more? We kind of limit it for product category, but the success has been great. And it's our ability to do that and the personalization, like Brian said, it's been tremendous for us. And we do see the results. So.
Perfect. So you're talking about different categories and everything. What products are eligible for the program?
Okay, so right now there's two different programs, right? There's Spec 12, Spec 15 on drinkware, and then on Uniball. If you're looking at the drinkware side of the program, it's any vacuum drinkware piece that we carry, except for brands like Stanley and Frostbuddy. And we're going to want to focus on digital decoration. So it's laser on anything or true color on tumblers. Now, on the flip side, if you take a look at the Uniball program, we're doing our full color decoration on the Uniball writing instruments, and it's 95% of the Uniball pieces that we carry are available within the program.
And I know you guys have like the idea board. How does that play in with your Spec 12, your Spec 15?
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea board was something that we 2019, once again, kind of brought all this together. But the idea board was built out around the fact that very quickly, within 2 to 3 minutes, you could take a piece of art, you could completely choose your own products, or you could choose it based around a vertical market, and you pull all those pieces in, you drop that art on there. The beautiful thing is the images are to size, right? The artwork is to size, it's contoured, it looks great. It's something that you could present very quickly and easily. So it's either that initial step prior to, getting to spec samples, right? Like, hey, here's some great ideas I thought you might like, or it's that follow-up piece that is part of the Spec 12. But it's just a nice layer along with the Spec 12 that really does help, complete the program, right? And gives other options. So I don't even know the number, Brian, maybe you might have it off the top of your head. I don't know the number of idea boards we've done, but I'm sure it is into the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, a lot over the last few years.
Many of them.
Many.
Server full of them.
A server full of them, yeah. So what, sets Spec 12, apart from the industry, in terms of spec samples overall?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple things there that play into this. The first one is it's not just a singular spec sample that's shipped out and then we're done, right? We send it out and we just forget about it. It's the drip. You want to reinforce information with the client over time. If you tell them something once, well, they might forget it. But if you reinforce that information multiple times, 5, 6 times over the course of the month, they are very likely to remember it. So it's the drip, right? Hey, something is coming. They get that thing. They open it. They like it. We do the follow-up with the idea books. We do a second follow-up. So we are continually reaching out. And I think one of the big keys for us is what Brian talked about earlier, is that deck of virtuals, that follow-up. So it's not just this particular product. It's, hey, you like the quality of this product that you received, and then here are a bunch of other items that are also within that same vein, that same level of quality. And I think the second part of the program that's important is the investment. So for you, it's $12 or $15. For us, it could be up to 3 times that amount, that investment. So we're pretty heavily invested. So we do want to follow up. We do want to create that deck of virtuals. We're going to reach out to you a couple times to make sure that you're going through the process. And, on your side, you wrote us a PO. You paid us $12. You paid us $15. So there's skin in the game, and you also made an investment. So I think the investment on both sides is part of the magic here.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And especially if a sales rep is taking that money out of their pocket and putting it into you, they're hoping for a good return on that investment, right? So if you think about it, and I don't know if this comes into play, like even dollar amount, if a sales rep was thinking about, should I invest in that spec sample? Is there a minimum sales order dollar amount they should be thinking like it's worth the investment, or it really doesn't matter, or it's just all over the place?
Well, so I can speak to that one. I think people use these for a lot of different reasons. I think they'll do a spec 12 if they want to thank a client for a nice size order and expose them to something else. I think they'll use spec 12 when they haven't heard from somebody in a while and they know they're a good client. Some people only use spec 12 when an order is imminent and they need a spec sample. So there's a lot of different reasons for the usage. And I think that kind of relates to that 40% number, that success rate.
And I do think the ROI is there, right? Whether it's just simply closing sales or it's just staying top of mind, right? I mean, I think at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, whether it's any of those, different levels that Brian addressed. It's just important to stay forward thinking.
Yeah. And Brian, you just touched on the ROI on the spec 12. Do you guys have some examples that you can share out that have really paid off?
Well, so, specifically, we see that number, that 40, above 40% success rate. But the most exciting part of this program is, it's great when you get a reorder on the spec sample that you did, but when somebody sees the deck of virtuals and they pick an item out of that deck, that's the really exciting part, right? That means they were paying attention through your whole outreach program. They actually clicked the link. They looked at the products. They understood the value of the thing that was mailed to them. And then they saw something else and saw the value there. So we always get excited when we get an email and say, hey, I got an order off of that virtual idea board. That's exciting for us. And I'm sure the distributor too.
Yeah. And I mean, if you think of it as an end user to get this virtual board, and it's wow, they really took the time, and maybe it doesn't take that much time, right? To actually do an idea board, put it all together. But to the end user, they took a lot of time. They invested in me. I want to see, do I like this stuff? And maybe I do want to place an order with them, because not every sales rep is going to invest in the end user. So at the end of the day, it's worth it and it pays off. So
who doesn't enjoy getting a gift that shows up at their doorstep with their name on it, right? I mean, yeah. We all enjoy that. I get excited when the Amazon pulls up and I forget what I ordered and it shows up and it's here. So, we all love to get those things, right?
Exactly. And even if it's, not personalized or whatever, but getting something with your company on it and you can touch and feel it and the quality of it, it just makes making that decision so much easier, right? Whether you're a marketing person, you take that to your president and say, check this out. try it out. Isn't this cool? We need to order some. And boom. I almost, and I don't know, but I feel like the time span of turning a pending sales order into a submitted one or an approved one can tend to be much faster if you're going through it with the spec sample.
Agreed. It does close. We all know, there's a lot of options in every category. And when you look at products on a flat page, that's all you see, right? But when you have that touch and feel, and, there really is, I think it puts a sense of urgency on, now I'm excited. I love this. I want to make sure that we get this. And you nailed it. Yeah, I think it really does shorten that process.
Perfect. Okay. One more. You guys have an on-demand program. How does it tie into your Spec 12?
Yeah. So obviously it's like landing on Mars, right? The holy grail of hard goods, the ability to do one-off. And this is something that we've been working on for a while. And Brian kind of addressed it. It's like we've been running a beta test since 2020, really, of doing all these. And then we just had to fine tune the process, right? And so the key is with the on-demand program is now you can take, what was initially just some specs, and you can actually put these into one-off programs, right? So whether you've got a company store, maybe you've got a pop-up store that you're running for 30, 60, 90 days, that kind of thing. And I think the key is for a lot of people with these opportunities, there was always the investment, right? There was always the investment in inventory, whether it was nominal or whether it was more substantial. And now for just slightly more, you can deliver whatever these people want, right? So, if you were sending somebody 100, pieces of drinkware, but really only 25 of those people were into drinkware at the time, and maybe somebody else wanted a cooler or a backpack or something like that, you don't have those additional pieces sitting on the shelf. Everything is now very specific to that buyer. Right. And I think that's the world we live in. Like we go on, when we shop online and we want that very specific color in that item. And now we can deliver that. And so far, it's been incredibly well received. We kept it to a narrow window of products for now. Anything that we can do digitally and they can be personalized. And it's just that next level of what our clients are asking for. So,
and I think that's so smart. Like just keeping it narrowed in instead of like opening it up to everything, and it just becomes so overcomplicated. So the more simplistic, the better.
Try to keep it easy. Yeah, ease of use. That's what we want for
exactly.
For our
where's that easy button? Awesome. Well, is there anything you guys want to add as we kind of close out? I think I've hit everything, but yeah.
That's it. That's Spec 101, right?
It is. And I wouldn't mind adding that I do the second follow-up on all of the Spec 12s that are under my group of accounts. And, one specific example doesn't come up, but when I send those out, I get many responses that say, thank you, right? So thank you for keeping me in front of the client. Obviously, when it's an order, thanks for the program. And people are really excited to tell us that the program worked for them. So it's almost every day. Every time I do these follow-ups, it boosts my mood because I see the program working for so many of our customers out there. And I thought it would be important to add that.
Love it. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
For
so
being
honored
part
to
of
get
Folio.
Yeah. So.
The insight and knowledge. And I mean, I think this is fantastic for not only like a new sales rep, but a seasoned sales rep, because not everybody understands the value of spec samples and how, you invest a tiny bit, but you get a lot back. So awesome. Thanks for being with us today, guys.
Thank you,
this
Wendy.
Is great.
Thanks, Wendy.